Many people have issues with starters on just about every vehicle, but this is off my old GM truck. It's a 2003 Silverado. It's my plow truck, and it's in rough shape now. It's an older vehicle. I only drive it in the winter for plowing now, and that does lend to some things not working occasionally. However, I've been having more than the number of troubles I should with my starters. I'd say I'm getting close to playing with a starter every year now, and I'm starting to question what the problem is, but when I change it, I seem to be okay again, but I'm still not convinced. So if you've changed your starter before, or if you've troubleshot it, you understand what we have here. We end up with a direct battery positive on the positive of the starter, and then this pin, the small one, is your actuator, which comes from a starting relay in the relay box. When you turn the key, that is what actually pulls in the plunger and engages the starter. So I've decided to try something to once and for all, the next time it acts up, to determine if it is the starter or if I have a problem, which it's not easy to diagnose, but possibly my ignition switch. So what I did was I crimped another ring terminal to a wire. So I now have two wires on this terminal, the original factory one, which engages the starter from the ignition, and my second wire, which I have routed up through the engine and around. So I routed the wire from the starter up, tried to keep it away from the exhaust. You can see it's just a piece of red automotive wire. And I have run that all the way around and brought it through the firewall right there. And it's in my cab now. So the next time I have a problem, I have the wire just coiled up right here in my little pouch beside my just by the dash here. So what I can do now is, and it does work well, is I have the ability, I could just measure and see if I'm getting voltage, but I also have the ability, if I just stick it in my my lighter socket, you're going to hear the starter engage. Okay, so the starter engages when I touch it to positive. So I have a secondary method of activating the starter. Interestingly enough, even with the ignition in the on position, if I actuate the starter, the vehicle won't start. The computer knows that I haven't turned the key. So the only way I'll be able to try it is when the ignition is actually turned and touching it. So I've routed it in here just to once and for all solve this, because I've had so many times when I seem to be playing, and after 20 or 30 attempts trying to start it, it will finally go. And then when it's warm, it never gives me a problem. So again, it may just be my starter, but I just thought I'd throw this out there because it is a once and for all way to diagnose whether the problem is my starter or something else. So on your GMs, you can see these two relays here, but this is parking lights. This is my starter. So this is the relay that when we turn the key actually activates the solenoid on the starter. So I had swapped relays, but decided to go and buy another one at my local automotive place. It was only 12 bucks. So I've eliminated all the standard problems. Cables are good. There's no issues. I have the plow, and there's tons of power to operate the plow even when the truck, when the starter won't engage. So it's nothing to do with cables, corrosion, or anything. They've all been cleaned. I've gone through it end to end. Anyway, I throw that out there. If you're like me and you're kind of reaching your wit's end with starter issues, no easy way to tell if it's the ignition switch, but this will tell me if I touch that wire when I'm turning the key on and it's not cranking, it's definitely my ignition switch. So anyway, like this video and subscribe if you found it useful. Thanks a lot.